Shalom. That's peace and blessings. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory and blessings to the Most High God, Yahweh. That's the name of the Heavenly Father. Bahashem, in the name of Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And another thing, I want to give a big shalom to all the brothers that are out there pushing this word, this truth all the way out to the four corners of the earth. Big and mighty shalom to you brothers, and shalom to all the sisters, the akwaf that are in the households being submissive to their man, and making sure they keep the house, stable and afloat. Mighty shalom to y'all too. And those that are just coming into this truth and is just starting to learn who they are and want to do right. Mighty shalom to you also. So in this video, I want to get into, basically not trusting your enemy. And I've been seeing a cool, little couple things recently, in terms of just, the so-called white man, if I say, really showing his horns as of late towards us. Recently you had a couple college kids, get accused for wearing, blackface essentially. And apparently they said that it's some type of skin cream or something. But we all know that that's some blackface, because why is it that y'all took a picture and y'all haven't wiped the cream off, But usually, obviously sometimes, when you get like when you at like a spa or something, they put that little, like that, I guess it's like black charcoal on your face or something. That, in my opinion, bruh, that's cool, because at least I know that 9 times out of 10, nobody's going to take a picture with that shit and smiling and all that. Like, nah, bruh, it's something off about that. So that's how I know it's like, yeah, they try and be covertly racist. And then you had other videos of just, white people, or, the so-called white race, being openly racist now, saying that, we scared of, so-called black people taking over the earth and doing what, they did, or doing what we did to them, or doing what we did to us, So they just scared of that retribution coming back on them. And I'm gonna make another video talking about that very in-depthly, of their judgment. So, and I think I gotta get back into that, because I think I did America's judgment. I believe if I didn't already, then I will make a video on that. But I'm gonna make a video specifically on the white racist judgment. So, getting into the topic here though. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. So when you have a bike, right, over time that bike, starts to get, old. Maybe you gotta change the wheel, maybe you gotta change the chain, and it start to, rust a little bit. Now, when you try to clean that rust off, you're not gonna wipe all that rust off completely. Maybe some of it, but it's still gonna look dirty to a good extent. So, take that analogy and compare it to, the so-called white man, Esau, as his biblical, nationality and forefather is. Compare that to him. And look how, after all these years, even before slavery, but, during slavery and after, look how they're still treating us to this very day. You would think America's built, they got what they wanted, right? You would think, okay, cool, we all friends and all that, right? Or they would believe that we all friends. Now, some of them may believe that to a certain extent, but the higher up ones, and then you even have the, I guess, the ones on a civilian level, like the Ku Klux Klan, all these hillbillies and all that. You feel me? These rednecks and all that, like them. Yeah, they still like essentially they still hate niggas. So, that's not gonna change. And even then, you still have, the prison system and how they majority lock up so-called black and Hispanic men and women. You know, they they just have this way of oppressing us in a more systematic way. So that's why you have the term systematic oppression. They just got a more covert way of oppressing us now, not just us being out in the field, them whipping our backs, and so on and so forth. Now it's more corporate, if I can say it like that, for real. So yeah, it says, never trust thine enemy. For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. So let's go into who our enemy is. I got it right here. Let's go into it. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee, us, into Egypt again with ships. So obviously in the first Egypt, all the way back then, if you ever read, about the Exodus, so on and so forth, that's literally the Israelites leaving the first Egypt to go into the wilderness. So in that instance, before the Israelites was, in the wilderness, they was in Egypt. And before Egypt, they didn't necessarily need a ship to get there. If you look from Israel all the way until, if you look from Israel, or at least the very eastern part of Africa, all the way into Egypt, you don't need a ship to get there. You could just walk. Like you see that the Arabs do it all the time. You see Ishmael do it all the time. He just walks there. He don't even gotta really take a car. It was the same with us back then. We didn't have to take any really type of other, source of transportation other than us just simply walking there. So in this verse right here, it says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. That word Egypt is synonymous with bondage, slavery. So us being in a hard place, a hard condition again. Because back then we was in a hard condition. We're still in a hard condition now. Just because they not whipping our backs and all that don't mean we not still in the hood. Don't mean that they not still killing us in the streets. And don't mean that they still not trying to find new ways to oppress us and keep us down. So, and it says right here, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you, meaning no man shall redeem you, no man shall save you out your condition. So when it says, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies, when we got to America, everybody should know this. This is very common knowledge. Nobody should be clueless into what this is basically saying. When we got to America, what happened? Who was we sold to once we got here? Who was we taken by, and who was we sold to once we got to the North Americas? Everybody, I don't even really gotta say it, you should know. And if you're gonna add clueless, then let's be for real. What race is Joe Biden? You feel me? What race is Donald Trump? Those same people. So, that's clear as day. I don't really know how much more I can get in depth into the word enemy, but everybody should know what that means. So, let's really not act clueless in today's, point in time. But I'm gonna go ahead and jump to the next verse. So in terms of the so-called white man, and it seemed like he has this everlasting hatred for black people, or so-called black people and Hispanic people. It's like he's got this envy, this jealousy, and it seemed like it's almost for no reason, right? It's a reason behind that. So this is Hebrews chapter 12, verse 16. This is a spiritual reason, and it could be physical, but I'm playing more into the spiritual reason right now. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, for who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. So if you remember the story about Esau and Jacob, then you will understand that Esau, because he was hungry, sold his birthright for, uh, essentially a bowl of red meat, essentially. So considering he did that, considering he gave his birthright over to Jacob, and then Jacob took that birthright, and Isaac blessed him instead of Esau, that specific hatred still lives on in them to this day. It still does to this very day. And they may not know why they hate us, but best believe it's a spiritual reason to why they hate us the way they do, So I'm gonna go more into that right here in Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 5. Because thou has had a perpetual hatred and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. So, this is not a new thing. Slavery, like the battle between the so-called, white race and the so-called black race, this is not a new thing. This is actually, it spans thousands of years, believe it or not. So them, hating us and us and them in this constant back and forth battle, not a new thing. They always had this hatred, this jealousy for us. And as the Bible described it, because thou, Esau, the so-called white man, has had a perpetual hatred. Perpetual meaning like everlasting. It's like a burning fire inside them just to hate us. You feel what I'm saying? So he don't understand. Like, most of them may not understand, the higher ups do, but the most of them may not understand why they don't like us. But it's just in them to not like us. Like, the Most High just made them inherently wicked. And you know what? Considering I said that, let me get that verse too. Considering I said that. I forgot the scripture off the top of my head. Bear with me. That's not what I'm necessarily looking for. But we gonna jump on. We're gonna get into bear with me. Okay, yeah, we just gonna jump into Revelation. So, boom. This is going into, I guess, in depth of who our enemies are. Now, mind you, this is spoken of from way before time. Even though, the Bible has been written thousands of years ago, doesn't mean that it don't still pertain to our situation now. That's what a lot of people, got messed up. So let me get into it. This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. And this is Revelation chapter 13, verse 10. He that leadeth in the captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints being the children of Israel. And when it started off, it said, he that leadeth in the captivity. Who led the so-called, black man, black woman, and black child into captivity? I don't gotta say it. I don't gotta say too much. When we were stolen over in the west coast of Africa, who took us and brought us over to America? I don't gotta say too much. Y'all know that answer. And it says, he that leadeth in the captivity shall go into captivity. So this is pertaining unto what they did to us, just like how everybody know of this certain word called karma, or what goes around comes back around. The Most High's judgment is like a ring. What goes around comes back right around. You know, so they ain't gonna get off scot-free for what they did. It's a judgment, it's a consequence for that. You know? So if they want to keep playing games like they're not gonna, get judged for that, they can do it all they want, but the Most High's will must be done at the end of the day. So, and I think it's one more I wanted to get into. If it's not one more, then I guess I'll end it off there. Yeah, I guess I'll end it off there. So, don't trust your enemy, just like how it says in Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 10, never trust thine enemy, especially in these last days, because as things get worse, they will start to show their true colors. And I wouldn't be trusting them over your own people, because they'll stab you in the back, and they'll put their own people before they choose you. Or they'll put their own people above you before they even think about choosing you. So with that, I still want to give all honor, glory, and praises and blessings to the Most High God, Yahweh. And I do so in Bahashima Mashiach Kwamalak Yahweh. Again, mighty shalom to the brothers that are pushing this word throughout the four corners, trying to gather the elect, trying to seal the elect so that we can get out of the lands of our captivities. And once again, mighty shalom to the sisters and the Akwaf that are holding the houses down and being submissive to their husbands, and those that are coming into this truth and are trying to seek their God and come back to the nationality and the law, statutes, and commandments. All praises, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah. And with that, I want to say shalom.